big bear being sighted back here. I'm gonna try to get him on film without being on his menu. I've seen his footprints. They're huge. I'm also back here trying to recover some camera gear. Well, I come all the way up to Iron Fork and no dice, didn't find it. So I've already bought new. I was hoping to return it when I found the original. The original is better. But if you brought that hammock up and shot, please take it out. It's not that heavy. I just don't have anything with me to take it right now. I took the river up. I'm gonna take the trail back. What parts of the trail there are, best I can. Maybe I dropped it on the trail. I doubt it. I think I set it on rock. Blair Witch, still standing. Right on. But I think it's lost. A bear might have smelled. It was different from a rock. Picked it up, chewed it, dropped it in the river. Could have been anything. Somebody found it. Oh well, it was worth a shot. Go back.
A torpedo!
Met Matt up here again. Same guy, different hair. And your dad with you?
Dad.
First time up here, huh?
First time to
back this far?
Fork, yeah.
What you guys making?
Mashed potatoes.
Jennifer and her husband, Stephen. And I got some onions and mushrooms. You have a
cheeseburger and potatoes. It's gonna be a cheeseburger.
I have mashed potatoes, which I'm gonna eat with my veggie burger.
We just came back from swimming, and there's our our hobo clothesline. Oh, and down here we got some chocolate chip muffin or cake in the process being made. We got some Dan Aykroyd and some Alien Brew. You guys are sleeping in hammocks down by the river, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
There's one hammock. They're gonna move it down there by the river, and Stephen and Jen are in Haven, 6 Moons Design Haven, and I'm right there. Tyvek, a big rock underneath, Z-Light, heat sheet.
Remember that one time we had it and it was all like...
Scotchstoves.com.
Incredible.
It's done. I'll be getting in a minute. Look at this. English muffin, dill pickle,
Cheese.
You guys help yourself any of this you want.
Okay.
We used to
This is a
pick it up in
chocolate
Burbank,
chip.
but they moved it to Atwater.
Yeah.
Came
So
out
we just drive over
perfect.
there. We'll drive over there after work and grab
Here,
one of those
Steven.
sweet Ram Pro Masters.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, those are bitchin'. I want one.
Here's a chocolate chip.
All right, man. Thanks.
There's more cooking.
yeah.
The second half of the pack.
Yum.
Matt, here, chocolate chip. Full of chips. Chippage. Try it out, man. See how it tastes.
Oh, nice and warm.
How is it?
Oh, man.
Delicious.
I'm full.
And what are you guys baking?
High roof on that roof.
What are you baking?
I don't know. We might be too full.
Well, I have more chocolate chip on the way.
Full of shit.
Delicious.
Is it like a motorhome? Is it like a motorhome?
What the van?
That ProMaster?
It's just an empty
Chocolate
space.
chip.
We get the empty
Cargo
one.
van.
Good?
You gotta show me that.
Friend of ours has got a
What's up with that?
Mercedes Sprinter.
Here, you
I
Show me
want
how to do
have another one.
Had it
Hey, you don't know.
it. I know.
had it built up, put a kitchen.
See. So here's what I'm sleeping in. Scorpions. Here's what we've seen. Scorpions. Those poisonous centipedes in here. Mice all over the place. And tarantulas. So you got poisonous scorpions, lizards, a rat, a few mice. Did I say poison scorpion? I mean centipedes. One of those somewhere around here. Not to mention possible ticks. So I'm gonna use a friendly Swede. Just tuck it underneath. And then if I get cold, I'll have the heat sheet. But that's what I'm sleeping in. I got a big old jumbo boulder pillow. They're in the haven. I'm gonna have to start bringing me a shelter. That centipede grossed me out. Here's where I slept. Here's my view. The net kept mosquitoes off me and stuff, but it's better than nothing. And this heat sheet, it kept me warm. It's seen better days, but I pull that off and I can really feel the difference. I can't even count the name of people I've camped in this area with. Literally. Probably close to 100 different people throughout my years. Going back as far as I camped here once with backpacker Dave. We were coming in, he was going back to his shelter, which was way back there by Pine Mountain, and it got dark when we were in the Narrows, and he goes, I'm just gonna stop off at Iron. So cool, I'll stop off there with you. So we stopped off here and camped. I slept over there, he slept right in this area. But Steve and Jen stopped there them a bunch of times. There, she's waking up. Slept there once with Matthew. Steve, let's see, Mike, Martin, Gabriel, but out of all the years and all the times I've yet to, I sat back here once with my nephew. I've yet to get my brother back here, and I doubt I ever will, which is a shame. I know he'd love this place. He'd also love the one upriver and a couple downriver. East Fork is, in my eyes, the best here locally. Oh, if you camped up at Fish Fork recently and you had it looks to be a well, as soon as Steven wakes up, he'll tell you. Actually, he'll tell me, so it'll be going across the screen right here. It's a tent, an REI, the quarter dome. I'm not really sure, but if you left and mistakenly left your poles, or they fell out of your pack, I found some poles just above Fish Fork. There's some people down below. They're looking all over the place. Can you imagine what it was like back here in the early 1900s, late 1800s, early 1900s? Now, there were plenty of bighorn sheep back then, plenty of deer. There were a lot of bears. There were even grizzlies. There's stories where Native Americans used to get rabbits along the backside of this mountain. Use rabbit furs for trading. They talk about it over at Red Box, and they're Native Americans there, so they know their history. I haven't seen rabbit in the mountains at all. I take that back. I saw one in Mount Baldy this year. Before that, I had never seen any. But Trogdon's, his camp, as I have the camera faced now, his camp was back at about 5 o'clock. Back this way. About 4 o'clock actually. Now, him and his wife back here alone. And then, let's see, up there on the mountain you had Stanley and Miller. I believe Stanley's cabin was the outside one, if whoever wrote the story about it was correct. Miller's was the inside, and Stanley Miller mine. But he knew they were up there, and their crew. But other than that, he's back here, and then you get right around this corner. Let's see, where that green tree line comes down, probably, where that bush is, over there. just drop the bush on the far slide. Not this hill, but the far slide. Drop down that, you would have Oliver Justice's cabin. Other than that, I found 2 cabin remains northeast of me. And there's no mention of them in the history books. So I don't know who lived there, or if they're permanent structures, or they were just built and the flood hit. I don't know. But there's 2 dwellings. One just before Pine Mountain on the east side, up on a flat. Part of the chimney's left, and 2 of the walls, about a foot of the wall. So I don't know. And the other one is in an odd place, right next to the river, just about, in one of the straightaways, where if you're coming down on a through hike, the trail's going to take you off to the left on the east, and you're going to lose track of the river. You'll hear it, but you won't be able to see it. You're going to lose track of the river. You're going to come down, cross the river, way beyond the cabin, and it is, let me see, it's before Fish Fork, I believe. Yeah, it's north of Fish Fork. And if you're going out, you're going to be tempted to hit that same trail. It's the easiest way, and lose track of the trees again. But if you take to the river and follow the river up, you can't go to the west. The west just goes up real steep, and the brush is too thick. You can't get through there. But if you take to the river, there's a clearing back behind that brush where you can see part of a rock structure. So somebody lived there, I believe. Backpacker Dave pointed that one out to me. I'd passed it many times and not even realized it. I've walked within 20 feet of it and not even realized it. He told me he didn't see it for years either. And then beyond that, you have Tom Vincent back there at the top. But if you come over Prairie Fork and go up the other way, you had, I don't know his name. If I remember to put it and find it, it'll be going across the screen right here. But he lived at Prairie Fork. He had a cabin back there, and he was one of the original postmasters for down there in the city, and had his cabin back here in Prairie Fork. Paid for all of his stuff in gold. And when they asked him, where are you getting all this gold? He said he had enough gold stashed to last him the rest of his life easy, and maybe another life. And within 4 months of that being supposedly said to somebody, he was found dead on his porch of natural causes. But he was so remote that the grizzlies had all taken their toll of him, and other animals had taken a bite here and there, and so there wasn't much left of the body. How they know it was natural causes, who knows? Maybe he was sick prior to that. But they never found his gold. So people have been looking for it ever since. But when the flood came through in 38, I'm sure it's buried and returned to the earth. The colorful history back here. But back to what I was originally saying before I gave you the short history is, imagine Trogdon back here at 4 o'clock as the clock, if I'm pointed that way. Imagine Trogdon and his wife. Their daily ritual would be most likely keep an eye out for food. You know, where there are no grocery stores. The only way he got food was through the Trogdon Trail, packing in with mules, which Heaton used to bring stuff up. Not Heaton, I'm sorry. another guy. He was gold prospecting down in Little El Doradoville, and wasn't finding as much gold as some, and then decided, you know, there's more money to be made getting these guys supplies than I could ever. If I look for gold, I may find gold. Well, back then you would find gold. Now you will find gold if you put some hard work into it. Local prospectors always find gold. Small amounts, but back then I'm sure it was quite large. But I may strike it rich, but it's going to be sporadic. Which, if I bring stuff in, that's every day guaranteed. Bring stuff in, and when I'm going back out, I can give those few a ride back out, women and stuff out on the mules. So he did that, started a guide service, and used to bring stuff back here in mules. Now he'd bring stuff back here. Heaton would come up here at 4 o'clock, not in the afternoon, 4 o'clock. Trogdon's camp. Heaton would come back to Trogdon's camp. Vincent back here would come down to Trogdon's camp. I'm sure Stanley and Miller would both come back to Trogdon's camp, like a little gathering spot. And they'd do their bartering, trading. This guy'd bring in this guy back here would bring in the gold, and they'd all trade. And there were also a few Native Americans that were also involved in doing this sort of thing. There's 4 of them named. One last name is Trujillo, I believe. But if you watch the Sedley Peck 8-video series, you'll be blown away. You'll be blown away. And I'm in the perfect place to tell you this. If you watch the Sedley Peck videos, and he talks about his dad being told something by a Native American that he saved his life by giving him some penicillin, and he brought him some gold. Now a lot of the locals, a lot of the guys that have been coming here for years, prospectors, have all talked about this numerous times. And one time or another, I've been out with all of them looking for this spot. And we believe that spot has to be up this. Most likely, I'm thinking either over that saddle or that saddle. Most likely that saddle is what I'm thinking. Over that saddle, there's a little flat prairie type deal somewhere between here and there. I've asked Ron at the Bridge to Nowhere to fly over and look for it. He said he hadn't seen anything. But there was a source where the Native Americans said there was more gold than anywhere else. And they were bringing people back here, showing them where to find the gold. That's why a lot of the prospectors finally got sick of them doing that and sort of extinguished them, put an end to 30 or 32 of their lives down by the recon station, just before you get to the 4-wheel drive area, in that area. I'm not going to say where. It's trespassing. There's cameras. You most likely will be arrested. They don't want anybody disturbing that area because not only were they killed there, they were buried there. Went in the middle of the night and smashed their heads with the rifle butts. But they were Trogdon. Back here, you know, they'd be back here. Oh, Jennifer's up. They'd be back here keeping an eye out for bighorn sheep, game. I bet you like many mornings they've seen sheep up here. He might have took that shot. Who knows, might even roll down into the river. Dead sheep in the water I'm drinking from. But deer, I've seen deer back here. I've seen bighorn sheep back here. I saw a bear back here when I was with Brandy. But imagine what it was like back then. The stuff you'd see. The stuff you had to do. Jen's got her cook set upside down.
Making an egg. It's working.
Yeah, using the lid as a fry pan.
That'll work.
Yeah.
Biscuits and gravy. With an egg.
Eggs. Potatoes left over from last night.
Delicious.
Look at how much lower my pack is. It's below the frame now. It's way down here. Minus that ice chest with all the drinks, minus the food. I do have the trash. Some leftover olive oil. Tripod. Canteen. Leftover fuel. Camera bag.
It got all stuck on the bottom, but it's all crunchy and yummy.
Look at this. See this rock here? Watch this. Picture that right there as an ear. Picture that as an eye, nose, mouth. Look at this. It's Batman face pushing through that rock. Look at that. Batman. Look at the mouth. There's the mouth, the nose, the eye, the head, ear to the costume. There he is, Batman. Look at this. This must have happened when they're cutting this for the bridge. But if you look right over here, let's see. You got the nose, the screaming mouth, and the chin. It's screaming. The shut eye, and the pompadour. Get off my mountain! Shut off that music!